thank you everyone for joining today. Tom and Sharon, thank you so much for working with us for the past 3 or 4 months. Bob, I know you've had glowing reviews of how great it was to work with Tom and Sharon, so we really appreciate you guys working with us. This is our first time doing a webinar like this, and we thought it'd be fun and interesting to have people kind of join in live and ask questions throughout on how this whole process shook out for you guys. To the audience, if you have questions throughout this presentation, please chime in and use the Q&A function towards the bottom of your screen, and we'll try and answer those questions live. We love the Q&A piece. It's always the fun part of these webinars. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Tom and Sharon, I think it'd be great. Can you give us a little background on yourselves, everything you had going on before you got involved with Emerald Green, and then kind of we'll take it from there.
All right. Well, I'm Tom. My background is I was always a farmer. I operated a very large farm in southern Chester County. We milked 450 cows and crop farmed about 4,000 or 5,000 acres. So agriculture was always in my background. So growing things, fertilizing was always something. And then we also done real estate, home repairs, and marketing. So I had a friend after 9/11. He was an airplane pilot, and he lost his captain's seat, and he wanted to do something else, and he decided to get involved in this lawn care business. And he came to me and asked me to help him get it started with the fertilizing and the nutrient management, stuff like that. So I worked him through that, and he had big plans and wanted to make it a real big company. But as soon as he had to hire somebody, he said that was enough for me. And he went ahead and said, "Tom, you want to go ahead and take over Emerald Green Lawns?" So back in 2006, I decided that we'd go ahead and start a lawn care fertilizer company on the side besides farming. And in time, that's ended up being one of our many different facets of income. And for the last 19 years, we operated Emerald Green Lawns, and our two sons also operated with us. You have anything else?
I was teaching preschool, summers off, running a landscape nursery. Tom came down to the nursery that I was managing and said, we're going to buy a fertilizer company. And I went, okay, here's to another project that we're going to add to this. So we did. And there for a while, when we owned Emerald Green Lawns, we did keep our full-time jobs and did run Emerald Green Lawns. And then at one point we said, okay, we're just going to stop our full-time jobs, and this is going to be our livelihood. And it treated us very well, and it supported how many families? 4, 5?
4 families.
Full-time.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
I know you guys juggle a lot of different things. How was that early stage juggling the full-time jobs and really sinking your teeth into owning a business?
Well, we were a lot younger, so it was a lot easier.
It wasn't really a difficult process for myself, because it tied in with everything else we were doing, and just like it was a small part of what I done with the operating the farm. I mean, it was a small piece compared to what I did in the farming part. And actually, I left out another part. I was also partners and managing a very large landscape business that we had 50 employees there that I was also doing. So it just slipped in, and had a couple good employees, and I just kind of ran it remote control.
But I will say, when we purchased it, how many customers did we have?
We started with like 300 customers when we purchased it, and
then grew it.
Then just grew it from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's great. Can you kind of jump into a little more on the business? How long you guys bought it in 2006? Can you kind of give us a few details on what that growth looked like and how many employees you had, and maybe when you were making decisions of we need to add extra vehicles or extra people because we're growing. Can you give us a little of the last 20 or so years?
Well, the first thing we did was it was set up in southern Chester County, PA, and I moved it down to our residence. We have a farm in Newcastle County, Delaware, so we operate out of our farm. So then I opened up the market in Middletown, Delaware, which was expanding very rapidly. So we started advertising down there, and our customer growth grew very fast down in the Middletown area, and even in the Newcastle area, and then did some other improvements, like did the charge cards and just brought things up to date. So we had one employee in the beginning, and by the second year, had 2 employees and 2 trucks. And within 5 years, we were up to 3 employees and 3 trucks. And after that, then about 10 years into it, we actually stopped advertising because we got to where we were satisfied with our customer count. And then we just grew totally just by word of mouth, and still grew very rapidly. Even when COVID came through, they were some of our quickest growth years. The first year of COVID, we added 400 customers on just in a matter of a couple months, just because people got stuck at home and said, we want to make our houses look nice now.
Yep.
Very cool. Tom, in all the years you've had it, what was the best part of owning your own business, the lawn care?
Making money for yourself and working for yourself and not making money for somebody else.
Very cool. And what was the hardest part of running the business?
To me, nothing's generally too hard as far as that goes, because I've had that background for a very, very long time. I mean, I'm very self-controlled and self-driven. We've ventured into mobile home parks and stuff like that. So I enjoy the challenges, and probably the hardest thing with any business anymore is the labor factor, trying to find good employees.
Yep.
I would agree. I think that was, being a small family-owned business, we didn't have the networking to reach out for the employment end of it.
So Sharon, you had your 2 sons, a daughter-in-law, and your husband working together. So how is that, like Thanksgiving dinner? How is that functionally for the Roth family to have everybody there working for the same company?
Not a problem. We have 6 grandchildren. They take over the show. It's not a problem. No, we all get along, so it's not a problem. And the grandchildren all. So, and don't forget, we're a family farm. So our children all live right on the farm and right all around us. So my grandchildren can run to my home any chance they get. So
when you're doing this and suddenly you look up and you've been doing it for a while and you decide to sell, how was that process? When did you start talking about it? And how did that go from beginning when you thought about selling?
about 3 years ago.
Around 3 years ago, Sharon and I decided that we really wanted to step back from operating Emerald Green and being tied down strictly with that. And we approached both our sons and gave them the opportunity to give it a try. And I stepped back and left them pretty much handle the day-to-day stuff all their own, make the decisions, and left them do it for the last 3 years or so. And earlier this year, we came to them and they said, "What would you like to do now? Do you want to purchase it and take over Emerald Green Lawns?" And they said, "No, we don't want to own and operate the business. We just want to work a job. We don't want to own a business." And that's when we finally decided that we were going to go ahead and sell the business outside of the family then.
Cool.
We
And when you decided to sell, Tom, what surprised you the most about selling your business?
Probably the amount of
Paperwork.
information that the buyers needed. There's a lot of in-depth information that was needed to come up with.
Yeah, we put together that SIM, the confidential information memorandum, and that's not a short list of questions from the get-go. And then once you get to that letter of intent, there's a whole nother due diligence list of questions. How did you guys handle that information flow? You guys have a lot going on too, not only running this business, but a lot of other ventures as well. How'd you handle the workflow and juggling it all?
That's what I did in the evenings then.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I was all, I mean, the way I had it set up, I mean, truthfully, I'm surprised. I mean, I'm not a great office person. I know where everything's at, but I could get my hands on the information pretty easily. It's all accessible to me.
Yeah,
And I think I surprised Bob a lot of times how quick I got it for him.
Tom, if I had to grade a guy selling his business, you were the most prepared and timely person I've dealt with in a long time. I kept telling Barrett, this is unbelievable. I would send you a text, and 4 hours later, we'd have everything answered, if not less. So you are a very good example of someone that had really good access to their information.
Well,
and
some of
got
that pertains to our business being a fertilizer company, and we're slow in the wintertime. So we were trying to set the goal that we would sell the business during the winter so that if somebody would buy it, they would have an easier start with it.
Sure.
Yeah. Bob, question for you. This was nothing ever goes specifically to plan, but everything did go pretty smoothly, I would say, with you guys. Bob, the question to you is, I think Tom and Sharon were very prepared. How did that really make the process work well, and how did it get buyers excited?
Oh, the buyers, when you sell a business, buyers love information and they love more information. And when they ask for questions, they like to get it relatively quickly to keep the process moving. And Tom and Sharon were very fast to respond, always got us exactly what we needed, and Tom always ran the reports that we needed quickly. So it seems so simple as I say it, but the experience says it can take weeks what Tom would do in hours for many people. So very professional, and it really makes the process of getting the buyers, the prospective buyers, what they need to understand the business and make the right offer. So it really was outstanding. I mean, really a scale of 1 to 10, it's like a 9.5 to 10 from dealing with people selling a business. So
Yeah.
I would say anyone, Tom, they should talk to you about how to do it because you were well prepared, and Sharon as well. Very clean.
So you obviously two of the employees, your sons Nathan and Chris, and then the other ones. What was their reaction when you told them, and how are things going after the sale with all the employees?
They actually, both my sons and one employee went with the new buyer, and all three of those are very pleased with the new company. They're there today working to help them get set up for 2025. Daughter-in-law, she was part-time, so they didn't have a need for her, so she'll have to find something else. So now the employees, I mean, I can't say, I mean, they were probably surprised that we were selling, but they were very pleased that we considered them and tried to take care of them at the same time, and work with the buyers, and they made room for them also because they were quality employees, and I don't think anybody wants to turn down a quality employee anymore.
Employees come back to us in the evening, and they'll talk to us about their day, and they're happy with what they're doing.
That's great.
So how much do you miss? I know it's only been a month or two at this point. How much, Sharon, do you miss the business being on your farm?
None.
Let me ask this again, Sharon.
Well, I'm sorry. You know, I like doing project homes. So I've just moved on to a new project home.
Right.
So I'm in the depths of a project home. So
Tell us about
I'll let you know when I'm finished.
tell us, Sharon, about your passion outside of Emerald Green and taking care of your husband.
Uh, well, Tom's pretty good at taking care of himself, but
All right.
I like buying homes that have good bones that just want to be pretty again. So I find homes and I'll say, let's go buy her. She just wants to be pretty again. And then usually they need a roll off dumpster. And we take, Tom and I can pretty much do all of it ourselves. So we're in the middle of doing one right now.
And where's that one at, Sharon?
This one's in Ocean City, Maryland, but we've done them all the way from the Florida Keys to an island on the Gulf of Mexico. We've done apartment buildings. We've done them all. Yeah.
Tom, I think you said your favorite job is electrician, right?
He's doing tiling right now.
Yeah, right now I'm
Right
tiling.
now he's doing tiling.
So you're back in, I can see where you're at now at your home, but you're headed back to Florida soon to work on, are you headed to Ocean City next to work on your next home?
Finish this one up in Ocean City. Yes.
So back to selling the business. If I was interested in selling, what advice would you give me? I'm calling you and saying, I think I'm a year away. Having gone through it the way you did, having gone through it recently, what advice would you give me as a perspective, someone like you, maybe a year prior?
Well, one thing is to have your information together and easy to access. So you have it for the prospective buyers. I mean, that's the key. And just have your mindset where your goals are at, what you really want to do with the business. And like I said, we had a few years to decide on it, so we were pretty
Right.
well had our path chosen already. What we were doing and how we were going to sell the business, what we were going to sell with the business, and what we were going to keep. We ran it on our farm, so real estate never got involved in it. Just the business itself. But the information part is the easiest thing to make the whole process go smooth.
Yep.
Sharon, anything from your perspective?
No, I agree with him. You just need to be prepared to handle a lot of back and forth on paperwork, and have a good relationship with, like, Bob was awesome with us. He, we had a good back and forth relationship with him. Someone that, is honest, that will tell you right out.
And outstanding people, outstanding folks to work with from the beginning. Very much. So one of the Cetane processes that we really are proud of is when you had a chance, we interviewed different buyers. How did you like our process as we ran through it? Did it make sense to you as we moved through from getting your business listed to entertaining the different offers?
It did. I mean, working with Cetane, it worked out really well. But putting all the buyers in front of us one at a time and seeing what their packages were and what they had to offer, it worked out well. And it worked out well for them too, because then as it went through, some of them seeing were different things that didn't fit for them, such as the one that wanted to go all liquid, and they said, it just wasn't going to work because of the way our business was structured. But it weeded it out, and on both ends, us and them, to make the process really work out smoothly.
Excellent.
Ours was a little more unique because we were a family business too. So we had our children that we were in the process with us, and the children were with us through the interviews also. So that was a little bit different versus someone that would be just selling a business, a husband and wife without their children. We have adult children that we were considering too.
How many grandchildren, Sharon?
How many grandchildren? 6.
6. Very cool.
One of them come to your house?
Not at the same time.
So we deal with a lot of family businesses, and there are times when children are involved, but maybe the owners don't actually tell them. Why was it beneficial for you guys to keep them in the loop on the process, and how was that a big benefit?
Well, they were involved in the business. We're our tight family group, and they live right, like I said, they have lots right here in front of the farm. So we didn't want no animosity with selling the business, and we just wanted it to be a joint venture.
And we had a family discussion on it, about it. And the boys had just discussed what their views were, what their goals were, what they were thinking, and what their future was. And they didn't want to work our boys are 5.5 years apart, and they're at different stages in their lives and raising their children. And they didn't want to work as partners in that. And one of them's totally different. One wants to do all the office, and one wants to do all the shop and all. So they were just looking at different goals in their life, and this just wasn't one of them.
That's great. Yeah, that sounds like it really worked out, honestly. Sharon, I think you've talked about how you and Tom work together. How was that opposites? You guys kind of do different parts of the business. How did all that working together?
We've always worked together. We've been married since high school, so we've always done projects together. We've always worked together. I think we're just different. Even when we do homes, he hits one area and I hit the other area, or we just play off of each other very well.
That's great.
Very cool.
I mean, there are different times where I might want to go work on the Florida house and he wants to work on the Delaware house, and that works out fine too. They both work.
That's great. Well, we are getting in a few questions. And folks, if you have some more, please keep sending them our way. I like this one. The fun question. So what was the most painful part of the process? And then what was maybe the most fun and exciting part of the process?
Having the attorney ask you the question 4 or 5 times, the same one. Same question.
Yeah, what she's saying is asking the same question 4 or 5 times different ways just to see if you get the same answer, probably. But
An interrogation almost.
Yeah, but I always gave the same answer. And then the most rewarding part was
Getting the
at
check.
the settlement table.
It's a fun day.
Yeah.
And the wire hits. That's when you know it all happened, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we've got this one is a little Cetane related. What was your favorite part of working with Cetane?
The whole group. I mean, everybody that I was in contact with was very helpful, very professional, and everyone seems definitely knew what part of the program they were involved in and knew what they were doing. Whether it was, I can say Ford, the different people, they just were very helpful in everything that we needed to do.
I agree. Yes.
That's great. So we've got this question. The sale value of gross sales amount, a realistic expectation. I think what they're asking there is, we hear about a multiple of revenue. And was that a realistic expectation? Tom and Sharon, you built a really strong business and had revenue in the right buckets, the good buckets, I would say. Did you guys focus on that throughout? And were your expectations in line with where everything shook out value-wise?
Our revenues and our business was very good. I mean, our profit level was very good. When it came to the marketability of it, we were never growing it to market it per se, but I always kept tabs on what these businesses were doing, and I was very pleased at the numbers that Cetane was able to put together for us for the sale then.
That's great. Bob, maybe you can opine on this one. Did annual retention rate affect the value in this case?
Yeah, that's a great question, Barrett. It did big time. There's reports that the buyers run, some call them churn reports in terms of how the customers stay with the business. And Emerald Green got an A+ on those reports. So that was a very important analysis for the buyers to do. So Tom had high retention because he was doing a great job in a really good market. So yeah, retention does play a role. A big one. And they know exactly that the buyers know exactly what they're looking for and know what a good number is and what it looks like. And I know we in the meetings, we went through that with the buyers. It was good.
Tom, did you kind of think about that? Was that in the front of your mind, or was that sort of just happened organically?
That was always, it was in our mind, not for sales value, but that was just always in our mind as far as customer service. We just always, that was one of our high marks in operating our family business was customer service, customer retention. That's why we weren't after really growing big numbers just to run them through the door and lose, say, oh, we'll take them and then we'll lose them. We wanted to keep our customer base, and we never really lost customers.
Yeah, that's great.
We just provided a good service and tried to keep our customers happy.
Our name was attached to it, so we were respectful of that.
And that's, I think that's the way to do business, right? When you do it that way, it usually comes back tenfold, doing work that way.
I agree, yes.
So, we hear this from strategic buyers and private equity folks that is one of the big key metrics. It sounds like you guys were obviously thinking about it. I guess I would say to any folks out there listening, it sounds like it does create value, as we know, right, Bob?
Yep.
But it also, Tom and Sharon, I think it makes running your business easier on you at the end of the day, right?
Oh, most definitely it does. I mean, nothing's more, I think nothing's more profitable than keeping your same customers, because you have a yard for this, you have a yard, you got a good yard, you got it taken care of. And it just makes it easier every year that if you're redoing your same yard, you're not running into difficulties. As we're taking on new lawns, you got to start out from scratch and bring them back up to a decent level. So I always try to keep the yards and just keep moving forward.
That's great. So we're coming up on 30 minutes, and I don't want to take too much of people's time. So I know you guys have some fun stuff to do. Was there anything you guys wanted to touch on specifically that we haven't talked about?
We're good.
Yeah.
All right, so here I've got the big final question. How is life different after selling? And then what are your plans now?
How's life different? Well, there's a lot more space around the farm because all the equipment's missing. So we've never really had our home as a home. It's always been a business. So this will be a different transition. And I don't know. Well, give us a year and we'll let you know. We haven't really, yeah.
All right, so
I mean, we don't have an abundance of time where we're looking for things to do. I mean,
Yeah.
our time is still busy. Because like I said, our boys were doing the day-to-day stuff with Emerald Green Lawns. So it didn't leave a big hole in our day. But definitely, like Sharon said, we don't have the business running out of the farm here now. So the farm is a lot quieter. Then hopefully we'll try to get into a little more relaxed mode.
Or a little more real estate.
Couple more home projects, Sharon.
Yes.
Bob, anything you want to touch on?
No, just want to thank Tom and Sharon. They work with me. They were a pleasure to work with, super responsive, just great people. It was a total pleasure for us and myself. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to whatever comes forward for you guys in the future.
You are
Well,
welcome.
thank you.
Yeah. I want to get to
We-
Florida. I want to go to one of those Florida homes on the island.
We really appreciate you guys working with us. And then, Bob keeps you working, right? We're not even a month or two out of this, and he's already got you on a call with us. So we really
Yeah.
appreciate you guys doing this today as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Bob. We are always available for any calls or questions that you have. So thank you so much.
Yep. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you so much, Tom and Sharon.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.